This time I'd like to call to order the November 9th, 2011 Planning Commission meeting. Let the record show that Commissioners Zarazua Gradine, Esnard, and Dumas are absent. All other commissioners are present. Item 3 on our agenda, approval or denial of the November 9th, 2011 proposed agenda.
Motion.
Have a motion by Milton Cluott.
Second.
Second by Bob Nance to approve. Any discussion or opposition? Motion passes. Approval or denial of the minutes of the October 12th, 2011 Planning Commission meeting.
Motion.
I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Milton Cluott.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Daniel Sadley. Any discussion or opposition? Motion passes. Item 5, public comment period. Anyone wishing to come up and address the commission on any item pertaining to the Planning Commission, please come up, sign in, and you'll get your 3 minutes to speak. No one wishing to address the commission. Okay. So the initial public comment period has been closed then. Item 6, public hearing to approve or deny the following family partitions. 6A, Steve J. Babin property, lots 3-B-1 and 3-B-2.
Good evening. Clint Quintemall, representing W.J. Quintemall Surveyors. Asking for Planning Commission approval on the following family partition for Steve J. Babin. In lieu of the pre-dial servitude agreement, we've put actually the adjoiners who use the private servitude of passage on the plat to be signed.
Comments or questions from commissioners? There are no comments or questions from commissioners, and we'll open up the public hearing. Anyone wishing to come up and address the commission on this item, please come up, sign in, and you'll get your 3 minutes to speak. No one wishing to address the commission. Public comment period on this item is closed. Do you have any further comments you'd like to make to the commission, Mr. Quintemall?
Not at this point.
Okay. Any comments or questions from commissioners? There's no comments or questions from commissioners. What's the wish of the commission?
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion to approve by Bob Nance, seconded by Milton Cluott. Discussion. There's no discussion, then we'll go ahead and vote. Commissioner Dalton.
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Nance.
Yes.
Commissioner Cluott.
Yes.
Commissioner Sadley.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Y'all have a good evening.
Item 6B, the Catherine F. Bullock Estate, tracks A-3-A-2-A through A-3-A-2-F.
Ellen Jackson with Macklin and Associates, representing the Catherine F. Bullock Estates. I've addressed any comments that were presented to me, and I'm asking for your approval.
Comments or questions from commissioners?
I have one, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Cluott.
There's a barn or a shed on that piece of property, and it looks like the private servitude of passage runs through that barn or close to
On
that
this
barn.
piece?
It was on a satellite image and also when I saw it out there as well. Is that this?
I'm not aware of a barn on here.
It was right in the servitude of passage. So it's been removed.
It may be on the next piece that I have. There's no barn on this piece. It may be on my next.
So you're saying the only thing on that piece of property is the residence as to you go in to the right on lot B1A?
Yes.
Okay. And there's no other buildings that would be incriminate onto the private servitude of passage?
Not to my knowledge, no. And
Okay.
it doesn't show up in the field notes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Any other comments or questions from commissioners? There are no further comments or questions from commissioners. We'll open up the public hearing on this item. Anyone wishing to come up and address the commission on this item, please come up, sign in. You'll get your 3 minutes to speak. No one wishing to address the commission on this item, then the public comment period is closed. Ms. Jackson, you have any further comments you wish to make to the commission on this item?
No.
All right. Any other comments or questions from commissioners?
I've got one comment, and I don't have the older plat in front of me, but this piece of property has been divided a couple of times, and I'm just wondering where it's going to end up if they keep
This
dividing.
is it,
This
as
is-
far as yeah. It was a little piece where that residence is. He didn't own that previously. He purchased that, so that's why this is in with this. I mean, this is it here.
One other.
Yeah.
Has the culvert been placed?
No, they said to place it before the plat is signed,
Okay.
and he's agreed to do that.
That's all you've got? Okay. Any other comments or questions from commissioners? If there are no further comments or questions from commissioners, what's the wish of the commission?
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Steve Barrow.
I'm sorry, let me add contingent on comment 1 being addressed.
I have a motion to approve with condition by Commissioner Steve Barrow.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Milton Cluott. Discussion. There's no discussion, then we'll go ahead and vote. Commissioner Dalton. Yes. Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Nance.
Yes.
Commissioner Cluott.
Yeah.
Commissioner Sadley.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 6C, the Dan Dixon tract, tracks A-2-A-1-A and A-2-A-1-B.
Ellen Jackson again with McLean and Associates, representing Mr. Glenn Harrelson. Our comments have been addressed, asking for your approval.
Comments or questions from commissioners? There are no comments or questions from commissioners. We'll open up the public hearing on this item. Anyone wishing to come up and address the commission on this item, please come up, sign in. You'll get your 3 minutes to speak. Okay, no one wishing to address the commission on this item. The public comment period is closed. Any comments you want to add, Ms. Jackson?
No.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from commissioners? If there are no comments or questions from commissioners, what's the wish of the commission?
I move to approve with conditions. That condition 1 and 2 are addressed.
I have a motion to approve with condition by Commissioner Nance,
Second.
second by Commissioner Barrow. Discussion. Then if there's no discussion, we'll go ahead and vote. Commissioner Dalton.
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Nance.
Yes.
Commissioner Cluott.
Yes.
Commissioner Sadley.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Item 7, public hearing to approve or deny the following final subdivision plat, 7A Shadows of Ascension, third filing.
Good evening. Brandon Acosta with GWS Engineering, representing Living Joy Ascension, requesting final approval of Shadows of Ascension third filing. Here to answer any questions you might have tonight.
Any comments or questions from commissioners on this item?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Cluott.
Jeff, has all punch lists and all concerns of the parish on the final inspection and everything, has it been addressed and bad type thing. It has, okay.
Any other comments or questions from commissioners? If not, then we'll open up the public hearing on this item. Anyone wishing to come up and address the commission, please come up, sign in, and you'll get your 3 minutes to speak. No one wishing to address the commission on this item. The public comment period is closed. Mr. Costa, do you have any other comments you want to?
Not at this time.
Comments or questions from commissioners? If not, what's the wish of the commission?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion to approve by Milton Cluott, seconded by Bob Nance. Discussion. No discussion, then we'll go ahead and vote. Commissioner Dalton.
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Nance.
Yes.
Commissioner Cluott.
Yes.
Commissioner Sadley.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Before we go to item 8 on the agenda, there is one thing I neglected to announce at the beginning of the meeting. Item 8C, Legacy Hills Subdivision Lot 56, has been pulled from the agenda. If there's anyone here to speak on that item, we will not be discussing that item tonight. I apologize for not announcing that at the beginning of the meeting. Item 8, public hearing to recommend approval or denial to the parish council of the following servitude revocation. 8A, Perkins Oak subdivision, lots 162 through 193. Is there anyone here to represent the Perkins Oak subdivision? Commission, what do you all want to do on this?
I make a motion that we move this to the end of the meeting in case someone shows up.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Nance, seconded by Commissioner Cluott to move this to, it would be become item, make that item 10. Which would make new business item 11 and adjourn item 12. Any opposition or discussion? Okay. Motion passes. Item 8B, Seven Oaks subdivision at Oak Lane Farms, first filing, lot 41. Yes, sir.
Hello, I'm Tim Wagensback.
Okay, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I'm asking for y'all to approve the change in servitude from 14 feet to 7.5. I think you have in your packets that I did contact all the utilities and all. They all approved it, as well as Bill Rue. And just asking for y'all approval on this.
Comments or questions from commissioners?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Cluott.
Mr. Tim,
Yes.
how did y'all realize the house was built into the servitude, right?
Well, I found that out. I bought the house in July of this year, and I had a survey ordered by Parish to determine where the boundaries were so I could put up a fence. And at that time, I got the map back and I saw the servitude. And at that time, I contacted the owner when it was built, which was Todd Sheets. And he said, well, yeah, we had that approved. We had it changed. And I said, well, maybe it wasn't recorded. So that's when I went to y'all, the barn over there, and they found letters from McLean surveyors, 2 of them, requesting it be done. And Todd said, yeah, it was done. And that's why I got approval to build a house. So I said, wow, what do we do here? So at that time, Jeff and Bill Rue and I said, well, go through the process and see if we can get the servitude down to 7.5. And again, it was at 14 because it was an open ditch. And then that changed to a culvert, 18-inch culvert was put in. And they said by some of y'all guidelines that 7.5 feet was good when you had a culvert. And he said Todd said that's what was done back then. Again, they couldn't find a record of it being approved. I mean, I got copies of 2 letters from McLean that asked, and it looks like y'all ordered him to go out and check utilities. And the second letter from McLean did state that they were done, you know, but there was no record of the servitude actually, you know, getting recorded. So it's kind of unusual. Certainly caught me by surprise.
When did that take place? What date?
What?
Yes, that they were supposed to go back and look at it and check it. What date?
In 1994.
Okay.
Yeah, McLean had two letters. Yeah,
Okay.
August of '94, August 26th. It was requested, and then on the 1st, he came back and said no utilities. And then after all that happened, they got approval to build a house. So
Now, do you know that if the revocation that you're asking for does not clear the air conditioning will still remain in the servitude if this commission grants you the 7.5 reduction? The air conditioning itself will still remain in that servitude.
no, I didn't know that.
Yes, sir, I measured it.
Oh, you did?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's not by much, but it is still in there.
Well, I could have that addressed any kind of way y'all like.
Would you?
So, Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Sadler?
So, sir, you're saying that you'd be willing to put something in there that if the parish had to come in and service that culvert, that would be impacted by the air-conditioned pad, even though your house would be legal,
Absolutely.
that you would bear the expense of
Absolutely.
taking it up and putting it back down?
Yes, sir. I'd be glad to.
Any other comments or questions from commissioners?
I've got one question for
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wagsback. I don't think you're going to have an answer, but I'm just curious. Do you know if Lot 42 still has a 14-foot servitude?
To my knowledge, it does, but I again,
No,
I didn't pull that. It didn't pull that survey, you know.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from commissioners? If not, then we'll open up the public hearing on this. Anyone wishing to come up and address the commission on this item, please come up and sign in. You'll get your 3 minutes to speak. No one wishing to speak on this item. Public comment period is closed. Comments or questions from commissioners? Commissioner
I'll
Nance.
direct that question towards staff. Does anyone on staff know if the 14-foot servitude still exists on Lot 42?
I mean, I haven't pulled that plat for sure, so I can't really speak to that, but, I mean, I have no records of, I don't know of any records of it ever being revocated, so, but no, I do not know that answer.
Mr. Wagsback, you have any any further comments you want to make to the commission?
No, other than I'd be happy to do as you suggested. If y'all ever need to go in, you know, I'll bear the cost of moving the air conditioner. I know it's probably not by much, Mr. Kluot, is it?
No, it's not by much, sir.
Like a foot or so?
You might even be able to
Just push it up a little bit?
you might even be able to talk with the construction crew, and they might be able to avoid.
Okay.
But I'm just saying you'd have to talk with them first.
Yes, sir. I'd be happy to.
Any other comments or questions from commissioners? If not, what's the wish of the commission?
I've got a question for our legal.
All right.
On this type of item, can we stipulate that if the air conditioner has to be moved, that it's at his expense?
We would have it done in a separate agreement, and we'd record that agreement along with the revocation. But yes, we could do that.
Okay, so we'd need to make an additional,
Yeah, at the council level, we can have an agreement, and if they choose to allow or revoke a portion of the servitude, they could make that stipulation too. They could accept your recommendation. That
okay,
stipulation
so
be
if we
included.
recommend that it be revoked with that We can't put that condition on it?
Yes, you're just making a recommendation, the council could.
Right.
Yes, but you can make that recommendation.
Any other comments or questions from commissioners? Not, what's the wish of the commission?
But, Mr. Chairman, I may have been daydreaming. Did we have public comment?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the wish of the commission?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to
What?
move that we accept this reduction and a stipulation be, whether it be through legal, get with legal, and a stipulation be put that if the parish had to go back into that servitude and do any work on the drainage pipe, that the owner would bear the cost of, if it needed to be moved, the owner would bear the cost of moving the air conditioner for the parish.
Second.
I have a motion to recommend approval to the parish council with a stipulation by Milton Cluott, seconded by Dan Sadley. Discussion. There's no discussion, then we'll go ahead and vote. Commissioner Dalton.
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Nance.
Yes.
Commissioner Cluott.
Yes.
Commissioner Sadley.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'd like to tell y'all publicly, I appreciate all y'all do for this parish. You don't get a lot of praise, but I watch you on TV, and you guys are doing a great service for this parish. And I want to tell you, I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Moving along, item 9, committee reports. 9A, the subdivision ordinance subcommittee. Mr. Cluott.
Mr. Chairman, I don't really have anything to report because we didn't have a meeting, official meeting last month. But the only thing I have to report that we have some things that we're going to work on, and we will have a meeting on November the 16th at DPW at 5 p.m.
Thank you. Item 10, Perkins Oak subdivision lots 162 through 193. Is there anyone here to represent Perkins Oak subdivision? All right, what's the wish of the commission then?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we delay this till next month, and that we send a letter or notify the delay to the applicant.
Have a motion to postpone until our next regularly scheduled meeting and notify the applicant by
Second.
Milton Cluott, seconded by Steve Barrow. Discussion. No discussion, and we'll go ahead and vote. Commissioner Dalton.
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Nance.
Yes.
Commissioner Cluott.
Yes.
Commissioner Sadley.
Yes.
Motion passes. Staff, we can get y'all to go ahead and get that letter out to whoever the applicant was. All right, thank you. Item 11, new business. Commissioners have any items of new business? If not, I have one. Recently, a complaint was filed with the Attorney General's office in regards to the commission and its subcommittees. And in regards to the Planning and Zoning Commission has created two subcommittees, the Subdivision Subcommittee and the Zoning Subcommittee. As represented by the complaint, the purpose of the committee is to review the subdivision and zoning codes and present any recommendations to the full commission for action. Commissioners who are not on the respective subcommittees attend meetings of the subcommittees as members of the public and actively participate in discussion. As a result, a quorum of the commission is present at subcommittee meetings, and the level of participation by non-members of the subcommittees is to such a degree that the meetings are not truly subcommittee meetings, but rather commission meetings. We received a reply from the Attorney General's office in regards to this complaint. The reply, I'm not going to read the whole reply, I'm going to read part of it. The above reasons, particularly in light of the fact that all subcommittee meetings are properly noticed and open to the public, there is no evidence that a quorum of the commission is attending the subcommittee meetings as a way to subvert the open meetings law. The chairman and the vice chairman have represented that, consistent with the advice of legal counsel, any participation by commissioners who are non-members of the subcommittees is limited to the same participation which any citizen would be permitted, and further, that there is no evidence of any action being taken at subcommittee meetings which is only proper for the commission to take at a properly noticed commission meeting. We have determined that there is insufficient evidence of an open meetings violation. As such, we are not instituting enforcement proceedings, and we are closing our investigation of this matter. So, the complaint was filed, and the Attorney General's office has answered it, and we have been found that it's been found that we are in compliance with the open meetings laws. And I want to enter both of these documents into the public record. So, Ms. Webb, if you'll get with me after the meeting, you can have both of these.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Kluot.
I was questioned by one of the commissioners in relation to this, and I had issued a letter stating that all non-members of the committee would not be allowed to participate in the subcommittee meetings due to the fact of what the Attorney General has I've just heard you. I will issue another email out to all commissioners stating that you will be allowed to attend the meeting, you will be able to exercise your rights as a citizen, and you will be given the right to speak at the public comment period and the subdivision subcommittee meetings that are held on Wednesday, third Wednesday of each month at DPW. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. There are no other items of new business, and we'll move on to item 12, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. I have a motion by Bob Nance to adjourn, seconded by Milton Kluot. Any opposition or discussion? Motion passes and we are adjourned. We will reconvene in 10 minutes as the zoning commission.